the once and future button press.
Is buttoned? Is pressed?
Yes.
I should do the intro.
You can if you want to.
I think I should. We last left on a cliffhanger. And it was a long episode, so we probably should. And if need be, you can always just cut it out and splice it together if the other one turned out to be really short once you cut out all the stuff you want to cut out.
No, the last episode was recorded in 2 sessions, and it's 3 hours of audio. So, no, it will not be short.
That's kind of what I thought.
I will not be splicing this onto 3 hours of audio.
Oh, dear gods. Problem with splicing. The problem with combat. I am sorry that I'm so bad at combat. Hi, this is Beth. Welcome to GURPS Wars, a homebrew Star Wars GURPS game with Crash and Ellie and EO. And Ellie's going to be very quiet, she says, because she's feeling a little under the weather. And let's see. I believe what was happening last time was combat, because you were breaking out all of your ducklings. You are trying to break out over 100 Imperial prisoners who were going to be auctioned off by a hut on Ord Mantell, and they've all been drugged to be tractable.
On one hand.
So you were...
On one hand, Rotini is having the time of his life. He's been denied the privilege of sharing his talents with the populace for the entirety of this arc, up until this last session. So he should be thrilled. However, all of the ducklings are currently inebriated until we can get them to the medical bay for very by the book, methodical, slow-moving droids to see what they can do about it.
The droids are lining up sobriety injections.
And you can't toss a micro-explosive, even a micro-explosive, at a slave-selling guard when 15 to 20 feral Imperial drugged troops are beating them down. However, 15 to 20 drugged Imperial troops beating an armed guard down is somewhat cathartic to also watch. So, mixed feelings.
They're soldiers. They've had bar brawls while they were drunk before. It's not that different, right?
Yes, but when all of your attacks have an area of effect, you can't just toss a micro-explosive in the same direction and say, I'm helping. Nevertheless, the Reuben sandwich is armed and operational. And
hopefully, I mean, you took down the comm systems for the wired comms in the building.
Oh, yes.
Some of them may still have walkie-talkies, so...
They gotta be good walkie-talkies. This place is full of metal rebar and stuff.
It's full of plastisteel and durasteel and bondium and, well, maybe not bondium, I'm not sure.
It's full of space metals, which will interfere with the space walkie-talkies. This is what I'm telling myself. Don't bring your logic and reason into it.
I'm just holding a halo over my head.
That halo has to be held over your head because the wire holding it in place has had a stress fracture in it from how many times you've lifted it up there.
It's on a stick.
Was stress fracture.
I can get a new stick.
Metal fatigue.
I can get a new stick. So, also last we saw, and I'm going to actually, out of line of sight, I'm going to toggle visibility on that since the walls are not working for some reason. I have walls, but...
Where we're going, we won't need walls.
Oh, for some reason, you see everything through the walls, but that's okay. I'll just use visibility when something's not in line of sight. Last we saw, I believe we ended on a turn, a pass-through, where Zwolrock is now in possession of a security guard's blaster, and the security guard decided that the better part of valor was going to be to... Can I give this one to Zwolrock? Give you his equipment? I cannot drag non-foundry equipment to another character. Well, that sucks. The better part of valor the security guard decided was to run away from Zwolrock. Zwolrock, you have a blaster that, I don't know, it's a pistol.
Primitive.
You're familiar with the concept.
Primitive technology.
Yes,
I have no need of this and intend to give it to a duckling.
The security officer has run away. You are not sure where they have run away to.
Obi-Wan approves.
Well, I could pursue the security officer, but then I would have to leave all of the ducklings alone.
Rotini's there.
I was going to interject. You'd be leaving me alone with all the ducklings. Please don't. I don't want
Alone
to be
with
the
the
responsible...
explosive obsessed Jawa who doesn't speak any language they can understand.
Also, I would end up being the only non-drugged ally here. I don't want to be the responsible adult. Don't make me be the responsible adult.
You're not the designated driver, Rotini?
That's Zisha's responsibility.
I'm pretty sure Zisha drives.
Yes. Zisha drives. I walk over to the airlock with a bunch of toys that I toss out, and then suddenly we're not being chased anymore.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure neither of us should be driving.
Nevertheless, you are, between the two of us, the more responsible one, so far as Rotini believes. Rotini is overconfident.
Zwolrock agrees that they are the responsible one between themselves and Rotini, but that's not a high bar.
You look much more responsible because we graphed it and we cut the y-axis to an extreme.
Zwolrock is very responsible. That's why they've decided to adopt 100 drugged Imperials.
We could banter about this all day, but I think we actually do need this plot to move forward.
Somehow their responsibility causes as much trouble as Rotini's impulsiveness. Maybe more.
Rotini feels like this is a challenge.
They are going to attempt to stand guard while the Imperials get undrugged and possibly assist somewhat with healing, especially if anyone can identify anyone here as a squad medic.
There is someone who actually did say something. Give me a roll. Give me a hearing roll.
There's 2 1s and a 5.
There's someone inside. Yep, that made it by 6. You hear through the open door someone telling the droids, I'm a medic, patch me up, I'm a medic. He's a little incoherent, and the droids may or may not be paying any attention, but you have heard someone say this.
I will check to see if the droids are paying attention, and if the droids are not paying attention quickly enough, then I am going to try to heal him.
Okay, we are dropping out of combat mode for the moment because, for the moment, you are low on visible enemies. Who knows what they're doing behind that security office doors? They've slammed them.
Crying.
They may even have tried to... Yeah.
I tossed
they might
2 explosives in there. And did very well. But anyway.
But anyway, yeah, that's an interest. Well, they're not at... Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, they are wearing some amount of space armor, so... It's light space armor. You know that the security guards are equipped with a certain amount of space armor because the collection of drugged Imperials who are busy trying to subdue the 2 on the floor are also, some of them, rather druggedly, methodically attempting to do things like remove the hat it's obviously some kind of protective one, makes them look imposing, and does it fit an Imperial? They're going to find out.
Oh, I'm aware that they have armor. This was discussed previously. It
Mhm.
doesn't go down the legs, which is why I was rolling the explosives across the floor.
Indeed. Their shoes are pretty decent, but the legs, I mean, it's so annoying to have that leg armor on. You clank, and also it's basically plates.
They
It's
used to
front
be an
plates.
adventurer
Oh.
like me, and then they took an olive to the knee. Well, it looked like an olive.
Right.
Briefly.
Anyway, the droids do not appear to be paying attention to the medic in the self-proclaimed medic in any way, except for, yes, they are administering to the pack of like 15 soldiers who have made it into their medical room area.
I am going to see if I can purge the poison from the medic.
Okay. You can tell the medic because if you mouse over him, it's Imperial Medic 1.
You cast
Because,
black
well-
coffee.
Should I spend a particular amount of fatigue for this?
It's not a wound. How much is the default fatigue?
I would have to dig that out.
Okay, give me half a moment. I can also try to dig that out and see if there's anything in here about... Oh, I didn't put it on the power descriptions.
It's something that was done last time we were here.
And look later, and doop de doop de doop. I just want to check something to see if I did a sensible thing of putting. That's the combat healing. No healing. Okay, 1 fatigue per 2 hit points healed. The target may contribute up to half of the fatigue cost of their own healing. So, how much is it going to cost to purge the... You think it is going to cost about a total of 3 fatigue to get him fully purged.
All right.
So you can take that up. You can take at least one of those from him.
I will have to take one of those from him, yes.
Okay, give it. Made by 6. That is going to be... He looks at you. You lay your hand upon his head and concentrate. The force moves through you both. Mostly through you. He reels. He snaps to attention. Goes, "Sir! My lord!"
Start sobering up your fellows.
"Yes, my lord!" He flings himself into action, basically raiding the medic droid's stash. They make cranky noises at him, and one of them pauses to go try and chide him for stealing things. I'm going to do a quick amusement of my own and roll. He dodges them nimbly, grabs things, and runs out.
I have been.
Did I roll a dodge? I rolled a dodge.
I have been continuing to use the air traffic control flashlights, which may or may not also be rigged to explode if I move the switch one notch further, to direct ducklings towards the medical bay.
Ducklings are having a slight problem known as there appears to be a bunch of, well, there's a bunch of ducklings who are beating up a couple of security guards.
Yes, and I imagine several are getting in line to help. However,
that's what...
I continue to gesture because I'm hoping that some of them will get a message, and I can't just yell Utini louder. I mean, I can, but that's not going to do anything.
But it won't help.
Well, it would be stress relieving for me. It would help in that regard. But then my throat would be sore, and they still would be just beating up the guard. And I can't even see what they're doing anymore because there's too many of them gathered around the guard. So the catharsis of that has waned.
I mean, there's not that many around the guard. You've mostly got a couple of engineers and some other people in the area, and well, all
Yeah,
these
but the guard's on the ground, and I'm short, and they're all
Yeah.
huddled around him. So there's a lot of mass between me and them. Also,
Okay,
I'm
that's
focusing on getting
true.
people to move.
Yeah, don't mind me. I'm just updating tokens. If the token is friendly, then they're being sobered up. If the token is some other color, they're drugged. I'm clever.
Most of them I can't even mouse over.
You can't?
There's a few that I can, but most of them I mouse over them, nothing happens.
Really?
Yes.
They should be able to hover by display name should be hoverable by anyone.
Not for all of them. Like, this is not a problem that needs solving right now. But like all the ones
Okay.
on my side of the door in this hallway, that are like right at the door, I
Oh,
can't mouse
well,
over
the
any
door.
of them.
Ones that are right at
And
you-
the ones that are around me, there's fewer that I can mouse over than before. I cannot mouse over any of the ones near me either. I can mouse over me and the doors, but not any of them.
what the criff?
Again, it's not a problem that needs solving right now. We can fight with Foundry if we wish to, but I would rather work on plot or banter. We could do banter
Okay.
or plot or both.
Banter
Both
or,
is good.
or both. Banter or plot. Banter or plot. Okay. Zolrock, the door is open. You can tell that there's this sort of melee brawl happening in front of it, and there are a bunch of soldiers sort of peering out and trying to decide if they should be getting into the brawl or not. Meanwhile, the medic is busy getting the people who are closest because apparently there is not a priority of trying to get at an officer. And also, there's a brawl in front of the door.
Maybe I should remove the brawl.
It's a possibility. It does seem to be distracting them. Rotini,
I
want to make sure I'm not interfering with what Rotini is up to. You're just trying to direct traffic.
I'm just trying to direct traffic. There's no way I'm pulling anyone off of anyone. And there's no way I'm going to talk reason into them with the language barrier. So I'm basically just swinging arms and pointing in the direction that they should be going in.
They are astoundingly paying attention to you. Some of them peer at you blearily, but there's a Jawa here. The Jawa has lights. You're directing traffic. Okay. Zolrock.
Sholrock is going to remove one of the security guards from the scrum and slam him into a wall again.
Okay.
Or at least they're going to attempt to.
You have made your telekinesis other by 6. You can certainly grab one of them. Which wall do you wish to slam them into? They're sort of going to be dragged across the floor. The Imperials, by sheer numbers, have managed to shove them down. That wall between the two
Yep.
turbo lifts.
Things
Okay.
are going south, is what you're saying.
Wham.
Things are going south for the security guard.
Let's see which the security guard
Poor officer things.
security guard is going to have the lying down. Were you attempting to do fling hard enough to do damage, or just yeet
Yes.
them out? Okay. There's another clonk. Okay. A number of soldiers look up and seem to be somewhat baffled. Where did he go?
Into the
What?
medical room. Go in there to look for him.
Sholrock points at the medical room.
This will get a clump of them heading for the medical room. Actually, this set of 5 is now going to be... They got sobered up. Oh, they should be on guard. Yes, guard their Sith. Yes.
Sholrock hands one of them the gun.
Okay. I will have to remember that one of them has the gun. In fact, I am
It's
going...
certainly much more useful than Sholrock having the gun.
You don't really have gun skill, do you?
No.
Pretty
Nor
sure
do I
don't
have a
it
high
either.
dex.
Okay, this one actually has the blaster pistols. There we go. This one does not have a blaster pistol or a knife.
Should I still have 1 unspent point? I think I should have 3 now. Because we got 2 at the end of
Yes,
last
you should
session.
have 3. Yeah.
Not that I'm spending it now.
Just
In
so
the
you
middle
know.
of the fight, I level
Yes,
up
everyone.
and have explosives 21. I'm not doing that.
You need 4 points for that.
Soon. I'm still not doing that. Or am I? Anyway, don't mind me.
You still have about 10 of them sitting on the other one. Let's see. This is all going to be a thing. And the question is, how many... What was my last good... Oh, let's see. Dip, dip, there's that, there's that, there's that. Okay, let me see. How long? I will roll. Ooh, nice. Nice roll. Okay. Everybody is staggering at about, 2 or 3 feet a second at least. That's... You are actually getting them coming out, and more of them go over, more sober ones go over to jump the other soldier. Oh no. Oh no. EO has posted a meme. A screenshot
It's
from
super
Twitter
effective.
by Foon of Gender has the gun.
Ah, yes, the two genders.
I mean,
has
some-
gun, doesn't have gun.
Mhm.
Which has led to many debates
I mean,
about
does it
whether
have the
or
gun?
not having a knife is a social construct.
I mean, it's certainly a under the umbrella of not having a gun, unless they also have a gun.
And what about bayonets? You know what? Let's just say it's a spectrum.
It's a but it does divide fairly neatly into having the gun and not having a gun. That's okay. This is the soldier spectrum.
Let's just... I don't mean to gatekeep. However, let's just make sure that the guns are in the hands of the sober ones.
Yeah, well, that'd be useful, but also the security guard's gun is now in the hands of someone who honestly, I wish I could give him a gun, but I do not have them as foundry items.
There's probably a thing somewhere that can mess with it, but I cannot be bothered to log it into the GM account right now.
That's fine. I don't think you should. I'm going to decree that this is okay.
You know that if I
that?
did log it in the GM account, the main thing I would do is add Tarasks everywhere.
Be what?
Tarasks.
Yes.
For the
Okay.
bingo card specifically.
Yeah.
No Tarasks. Please
That
do not
worked.
the Tarask.
I love
I'm going
that
to.
not only is Tarask a verb, specifically the Tarask is a verb. What did he do? He the Tarasked.
Sober guards have dragged the security guard away and are basically still sitting and loose. Other sober guards have jumped the other one. You have many more people who are running across the location, the corridor. Friendly, you are not hostile. You're no longer a hostile drunk. Some of them have run back in and are guarding the security place's door. They vaguely recall something about that. I mean, they're drunk now. Now they're less drunk, so, Let's just grab large sections of them. After subduing the guards that you have subdued, there's basically being a remarkably useful amount of time that is not being full of guards coming and shooting at you. This cannot last. You're quite sure of it. Let me just grab everybody and drag them en masse. That's so fun to do. Rotini, unless you have been following the pack, you are now left at the end of a hallway with a faintly groaning security officer who you, as I recall, did hit with one of your little small explosives, and then they got pummeled down a fair amount.
Have they been sufficiently looted already?
I mean, how do you define sufficient? Basically, they've grabbed the gun, they grabbed the hat, and the gun belt appears to have vanished as well. Armor was not something that they dealt with much, so it's still there.
Any ID card on them or anything?
Oh, you're going to check their wallet?
I'm not looking into their pockets right this second. I'm just wondering if there's anything that's plainly visible. My priority is to close this door.
Door closed.
Yes.
Door closed. The stuff that is visible on them is a magnetic name tag that they have had applied to their torso armor, and
okay, so likely not an RFID thing.
their name is apparently Oj Ungus. Hey, if
There
they
needs to
have
be a-
ID,
There needs to be a bingo square for GM has to come up with a name now.
yeah, there probably should be. I will give you the spelling.
I will ask you about this person's backstory later, but I am not overly concerned if they are currently disarmed and don't have a visible ID card on them. I'm just going to close this door and then head after the ducklings, checking indoors to make sure that everyone actually has left.
It does appear there is no one left behind the open doors, or the doors are removed because they were getting in my way. They're open. If you want to
Okay.
close them, we'll have to make doors. Run away, run away. Zip. I love how you tilt the running.
I power slide.
Whee! Swee!
Right when I get to the end, that's when I go. Oh, wait. Can I do that? I have to try this. Okay, so starting here, I'm gonna power slide to here. Yes! I can rotate while power sliding.
Ed.
This has been the Foundry Does a Cool Thing segment. Okay, but yes, I am intending to bring up the rear.
Okay. The medic bay is kind of full of assorted soldiers who are sort of trying to mill around, but also they're trying to help other people get in there. And the droids want everyone to please form an orderly line. Please form an sit here.
I'm going to
sit here, sir.
try
Sit here.
to help the droids form an orderly line.
Leadership made by 6.
Which is impressive because my skill's not that high.
It's a 12. That's not bad. Everyone will, in fact, form an orderly line between the people who are no longer drugged. And, it's not the best orderly line. You've seen better, but it is definitely an orderly line. It's like, how did this happen? It's amazing. I'm going to move these people.
This is the kind of orderly line I see with kindergarten, where when I tell them to line up, they line up in a way that blocks the hallway so that second grade can't get past.
Yeah, well, there is that. The medic is around and squeezing past the door and trying to come and make people sober who are waiting in line, basically assisting. Come on. That's right. I can get you past the door. There are a lot of people who are now in the medical bay. One of the people who is slightly still intoxicated sort of staggers over and presents you with a communicator and says, "My lord." The communicator is going bip, 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 bip. You're not quite sure
Did
what
you
the communicator...
take this from the security guards?
Yes. Yes, my lord. It's beeping.
Excellent. Shwalrock will take the communicator and, with some degree of bemusement, answer the call.
Report. NGs, report. NGs.
Oh no. Headphones issues.
Okay,
Please,
pausing.
please
Hold on,
please
headphones.
tell them we're all fine here. And ask how they're doing.
Shwalrock decides that lying is not really their usual forte, especially in situations like this, especially with their very distinctive, strange accent, and therefore they hang up.
It would have been a boring conversation anyway.
It starts bipping. It would have been a boring conversation. It continues to go bip, bip, bip. The slightly drunken, drugged, pleased Imperial who gave it to you is still sort of standing at bleary attention, looking incredibly pleased with himself because he gave you a thing. He gave you the thing. Yes.
We're all
He was
very
so
proud of
clever.
him.
He gave you the thing.
Accommodations all around.
That I don't know why that was giving me +6. I didn't set.
Oh, because of the leadership success.
That's not how that works.
I mean, you still made it by 6 because with the +6, you made it by 12. So,
Right.
But Foundry decided to be weird.
Are you tossing this at speed at something, or are you using telekinesis to give this person a head pat? I'm okay with either, but I do want to know.
I am using telekinesis to, I would like to make the comm no longer functional.
You are crunching the comm?
I am crunching the comm so that it stops beeping.
Crunch. It is no longer being an annoying beep, beep, beep. One of the other Imperials who's actually sober comes trotting over. I'll have to use single a bit just for entertainment here. And says, "Sir, what do you want done with the other one's comm, my lord?"
Give it to the Jawa. See if the Jawa can use it to detect others in the network.
Sure. Salute. Scampers off. Rotini,
Hello.
you have a soldier who comes up and presents a beeping comm and says, the Lord says to use this to detect others in the network if you can.
Utini, I would like to do something horrid.
Oh, no.
That
What
reaction
horrid thing are you doing?
just made it worth everything. Okay, so clearly this can be used to contact others and make it go beep, beep, beep. I want to make every one of these things in the vicinity have a custom ringtone, if possible. And by ringtone, I'm being very loose with this. It might just be I'm calling everyone, and when they answer, it's a max volume, high pitched sound of fingernails on chalkboard or something. Basically,
You are trying to use
we
it.
hear you.
You're trying to use it so that when you answer or when other people answer, it is binging. It wants you to answer it, but you want to make it so that it calls everyone on its calling list, and when
I
they
want everyone to
answer,
join the group chat and have the group chat be totally unusable, except as a beacon to everyone else that they're there.
this looks like perhaps their personal call. People, it looks like they have possibly. Someone has resorted to calling people's cell phones to ask what the criff is going on.
Okay, so
Are you going to try to call everyone in their calling list?
now,
their contacts list?
Here's the important question. Is this a thing that I think I can do with this device, or is this too limited for that purpose?
Basically, you have their space cell phone.
And I can do group chats on my space on my personal cell phone because it has Discord on it. Does this have space Discord?
That's
Is that what they're using?
Well, it would be Space Slack.
Hmm?
It would be Space Slack or Space Teams. They're
Yeah, it probably wouldn't be Discord. It'd probably be Teams.
Well, does
not
WeC
going to
pay
try to-
for Office 365?
I mean, they're probably using the Hut version. Well, actually, it's Ord Mantell. There's no telling what they're using here. You can probably manage to get the context list and form a group chat that will ring, and people will be added to it as they pick up the line, basically. Clearly, group chats happen because you occasionally see them in the SWTOR game.
Okay.
You're not necessarily going to know, unless you peruse the contacts a bit more carefully, which ones are their coworkers, which ones are their boss, which ones are their, girlfriend, boyfriend, steady polycule, spouse, whatever, doctor, veterinarian.
If we had infinite time, I might care to be more selective. However, I'm not sure that I would. So, yes, I am going to load up airhorn.wav. And would this be electronics operation?
That will be operation, yes. That you made by 7. Yes.
Pitch shift that airhorn.wav to the point where space dogs tilt their heads 45 degrees, not unlike my character icon currently.
You want it to be hypersonic pitch for everybody, or do you want it to actually be audible?
Well, not hypersonic, but lower pitch travels further, but tends to be harder to locate the source. Higher pitch sounds don't travel as far, but it's easier to say, oh, it's in that direction. So there is a method to this that I'm using, in addition to understanding that makes it way more annoying.
It's the little cheebly sound that holocrons make in Switar.
Everyone's common, it goes, hey, listen, hey, listen, hey, listen.
And if you... Yep. And if you answer, it goes...
Every now and then it cycles to a different sound. Next up in the queue is ocarina.
Crash, you don't have an ocarina. And I have to turn off filtering if I want my ocarina to be heard, because otherwise it will filter my ocarina. Even if I'm playing it right next to the microphone.
Look, the goal is someone hears this sound coming through someone's comm, and a duckling takes them down.
Okay.
I'm giving EO a gift.
A gift of ocarina.
I'm sorry, I meant Zolrock. I meant giving Zolrock a gift. Oh, no, EO. I'm giving EO a gift.
The gift of ocarinas.
The gift of ocarina sound being destroyed.
You know, I accept.
I told you I was doing something terrible. Anyway, this is what I'm trying to do.
Ocarinas.
It's
you
a
made
variety of sounds.
LOPs by 7.
It's not just
you
ocarina,
made your LOPs by 7.
It's a variety of sounds, yes.
Right. Okay. And you're basically going to have it automatically pull up everyone on this list as a group chat while it is, the minute they pick up, it's going to just be emitting cheebly noises and possibly what the criff, what is this druck, as people try to yell into the group chat of, what is this? Is this a prank? What is going on?
I may have selected all for their contact list and selected all for recorded media that was also on their device.
So any contact that you have that can possibly admit to a group chat is now being contacted.
Yes.
Oh no.
You are hearing a number of people picking up. I assume you're also patching in the one that was trying to call them, probably first.
If they were on the contact list, the player
they were calling in,
could be causing several problems. Rotini is probably also aware it could be causing several problems, but Rotini is overconfident, and I didn't bother to make a roll.
There's...
I said that tracks.
You are getting a lot of people who are clearly random people going, what is this? What kind of prank is this?
Oh, I've turned my volume way down. I'm not hearing any of them.
Oh, you're not going to hear any of them. Okay.
Yeah, because they're just going to be rude and yelling at me, and we're trying to find them, not have them find us.
Let's see. Are people in here picking up? Are you going to pick up? Is that roll? Are you going to pick up?
Also, is that door to the south of me open or closed?
It was closed when you were standing there, and if it accidentally got clicked, it shouldn't have. If it deliberately got clicked,
open.
then tell me.
That's why I asked.
It was briefly open. That was an accident.
Okay.
I will lock it so I don't accidentally open it, and if you want it open, tell me.
Oh, no. They have removed themselves from the narrative, and I will continue to...
Except for the part where you can hear it. Except for the part where you can actually hear that they have picked up the thing and now loud noises happen and then they shut off.
That's how you know it's working.
Yep.
It's tingling.
Yep. There's a little beep beep of a comm trying to get attention from the fellow way down the hall. Let's see about this guy. This one? Okay. Interestingly, you do not hear any others at the moment.
Well, that's kind of what we wanted.
Indeed. Okay, what are people going to be doing? Let's just see how smart. Oh, no, that takes some pretty smarting. Okay. The turbo lift to the south, I mean, there are two of them. There's one that goes up, that only goes between these two levels, and there's one that goes down from there. Apparently, these are the levels where we don't want hoi polloi showing up. They just, it's between this level and the other one. The other is, street goes down to street level, potentially. Have you been paying any attention to what those have been doing?
The turbo lifts?
Yes.
I've been very distracted.
Presumably.
What is that little tiny signal? Sorry. The turbo lifts are lighting up, and the one that goes between ground level and yours has been doing the usual sort of, up and down, little dots for normal operation on the lower levels. It has paused. There is now at ground level.
There's a turbo lift pausing and...
Basically, it's been at ground level. I mean, you're not sure how long it's done that, but it was at ground level the last time you looked too. Wait a minute. And since you've specifically been paying attention to that, I'm not going to make an IQ roll for that. Although, if you want to figure out how long it's been there, that would be an IQ.
I do, though either way, I'm suspicious someone has locked down the turbo lift.
It's been there for a few minutes now. At the bottom, it hasn't been moving at all.
Is there a staircase for fires?
Fires? In a Star Wars universe? Gracious. There probably are staircases for fires that... Actually, you have a map. Give a roll to decipher tiny markings for where the emergency exits are located.
What kind of roll would that be, just like you?
Unless you can think of a better one. Well, I made that one by 2. Okay, I'm going to... made by 4. I am going to start putting some emergency exit markers on the locations where there are emergency-only either lifts or they're just marked as emergency. Interestingly, the turbo lifts themselves are marked as emergency exits.
That doesn't seem proper.
You would think.
Well, the turbo lifts are great and glass, and therefore can get you out of the whole building very quickly, according to the
And to
engineer.
space?
Well,
Okay.
according to the second novel in the series, yes.
All the little blue dots that I've placed on the map are where you have emergency exit dots on your map.
Oh, well, that's convenient. There's 2 in this hallway.
Yes. Well, actually, there's 3 technically. There's, 4. There's 2 up at the upper end there, north.
How undrugged are people getting?
The majority of the people are sober now, although some of them apparently have really terrible hangovers. And one of the droids is now attempting to dispense hangover cures as well, and muttering, and they're trying to give lectures about fluids, and the medic is running around trying to give people fluids out of little cups, and it's a little bit of organized chaos. It has been about 10 minutes.
That's much too long.
Mm-hmm.
All right, start getting ready to move. We need
You go.
to evac, and they've locked down these elevators.
There's a
I
great...
don't think we're equipped to go climbing the elevator shaft.
Good try, my lord, say enthusiastic soldiers.
100 people trying to climb up elevator shafts. No.
How many floors do we need to travel?
That's an excellent question.
I don't like that you rolled 3d20. I don't like that.
It's It's Ord Mantell. You're in one of the big cities that I'd have to look up which one I said. You're in one of these towering skyscrapers. You're about 30 stories up.
Okay.
Counting the 13th floor, though. I mean, you're not like 31 or 12 or whatever. They don't have the unlucky 13. They count the 13th floor.
So these emergency exits, I know that these elevators directly next to us are counted as emergency exits. How many of these emergency exits are also elevators?
That's difficult to tell. Some of them may be ladders. Some of them may be emergency exits that are stairs, and you're intended to go up and be collected by emergency rescue vehicles because there is that great big landing pad up there.
If I might make a request by pointing out a thing, I made the intelligence roll by 4.
Okay. All right. You do not know for sure because it's Ord Mantell, but in your general experience, emergency exits for really tall things do tend to go to the nearest location that a rescue droid can get to when you're this high up. They will probably also be down to the ground. Most of them are very ableist and assume that if you need a hover chair, you brought your own, and it has its own batteries.
So the exit that is here at the top, to the north of this hallway, but not the one that looks to be the same design as the elevators that are to the south of us. Is that
one may actually be stairs.
Okay. Going up or down?
Probably both.
Okay. Is there a panel nearby that I might use to attempt to tell elevators to do things?
I mean, there's the control panels for the turbo lifts themselves that you pop off the panel and try and get at their guts and plug in your own stuff. Ups by 4.
Is that enough to tell them to do a thing?
What do you want to do? It depends on the thing that you want to tell them to do.
I'm going to tell them as many elevators as I can to move to this floor, pause, and then go up as high as they can.
Let me make a roll. You can tell the 2 local elevators. One of the local elevators, this is as high as it goes.
Okay.
The other one goes to this floor and the floor above.
And that's it.
And it could go further down. Those are the ones that it normally goes to, but it could go further down once you're in the guts. These are the 2 that you can affect. There's that other elevator turbo lift up higher up that is a cargo lift probably because it's larger. Or maybe it's for large people to, show up, because you have things marked as banquet halls.
I'm scrapping the plan that I had because for reasons. It's not going the way. The situation does not allow for the plan that I thought I might want to do. So I'm just going to scrap that for now. I am going to suggest to Zorak, I'm not going to say my lord. Possibly Zorak will appreciate this, who knows. But I am going to suggest to Zorak that we go and take the stairs to the north and book it.
I'm going to give you you made your IQ pretty well. I'm going to give you a freebie. If they are actually using the turbo lifts here to load up like combat droids or something into them, you might want to lock them down so that it thinks there's a real
you are,
and you could do that from here.
One step ahead of me.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, I love this. Great minds think alike, and somehow so do ours. But remember, I planted explosives for the infrastructure of this place, all over this place, previously.
Mostly over the level just above you, but yes.
Yes, mostly conduit lines.
Yep.
So, yes, I definitely want to lock things down. but also I'm going to, after I do that, I'm going to lock them down. Because we have stairs.
At the very least, you do have a ladder.
Yes.
It's probably stairs.
So that is what I'm suggesting to Zorok, and then I am going to start enacting my plan.
Excellent. Let us
I am
go.
overconfident in my ability to get this done and for Zorok to get people moving properly.
Everyone is now crowding into the hallway.
I am in the wrong spot.
Jorok will attempt to lead people off to the stairs.
Okay. To the north. They will follow you like ducklings. So many ducklings. Tromp, tromp, tromp. They are trying very hard to be in, duckling order.
Just move in mass.
Yeah, well, they're soldiers. They actually know how to move in mass. Did I cover?
It's what makes it glorious is they're this clump of icons, not organized in any way, shape, or form, but somehow able to still march in formation in this abstract shape.
Well.
I love it.
There are some times when you have to assume that there's a lot of theater of the mind going. They are separating out to a certain extent as they actually get going.
I just had a thought. As they're moving.
Yes?
Can I get
They catch you.
one of these elevators to go down to the ground floor? Or is it no, the elevator's already at the ground floor and it's paused there?
It's already at the ground floor and it's paused there.
Can I get the door to that elevator shaft to open anyway?
Yes.
I toss a mini grenade down.
Oh.
I'm not going to make you roll. Actually, I'm going to make you roll on your explosives. Do you want it to go boom on impact, or do you want it to go boom after a certain amount of time has passed?
My assumption is these elevators they get their locomotion from things to the sides of the elevator. They're not pulled by a cable.
That seems plausible, yes. Yeah, they don't have any cables.
It's going to have
There is a ladder, though.
It's gonna
Once you open, you can see there's a ladder.
I'm going to toss 2 mini grenades, one to explode on impact and one to explode maybe about halfway down.
Okay, give me an explosives roll for the one.
Which means I'm cooking one.
For the one that has. You're cooking one of them?
Yes. That means you hold the grenade for a little bit after you arm it. It's a little risky, but I'm overconfident and I've got explosives 20. Let's go.
Give me a roll for that one that you want to explode partway down. The other one, yeah.
That's a damage roll. Do you want me to roll explosives 20 for the one exploding partway down?
Yes, I do.
Critical success.
Made by 15. We rolled a 5. Because your skill is so high, a 5 becomes a critical success.
Wow.
I think, yes, you hold it in your hand, you cook it for a little bit, just properly with the right squeeze. You give it a little flick of the wrist. It falls into the, actually not darkness, dimly lit shaft. And then there's this wonderful, delightful music to your ears, tunnel-shattering kaboom.
Goodbye, Reuben Sandwich. You have served me well. I may make you again.
Indeed.
I think you served it.
I'll just put a lock on that one to show that it is out of commission.
Okay, with that done, I am going to head after everyone else and also press the button to let loose the other explosive.
A number of other explosives, you can sort of feel them vibrating here and there through the walls because, conduits. Fire alarms start going off.
Is this droid a security droid?
It appears to be, no, it's now sort of going. It is now making noises of the, everyone, please proceed to the, everyone, please proceed to the exits. There are exits located on your map. Observe the exits. They have their lights coming on. This means you should proceed to an exit and go to an appropriate escape vehicle if you go up. We suggest going up. They're giving this is the fire alarm. We're now emitting our programmed responses. There are some other people now running out of the staff dining cafeteria, looking around in horror, and they wanted to go to those escape. And now that what's going on? There are people who are now zipping across the hallway who I'm not going to show because I don't have general random person icons. This place actually had some people in it. What do you know?
There is chaos, confusion, and disorder, and a bunch of people are trying to evac. Came out and saw a bunch of disheveled Imperials marching towards the staircase.
Pretty much. The disheveled Imperials are marching towards the staircase, and okay, they're not in formation quite, but they are managing to sort of book it in a reasonable way. You do, in fact, have a staircase. The staircase leads up, the staircase leads down.
While we're doing this,
I vote
Sorry, you go.
I vote that Rotini bring up the rear, because if anyone can toss a grenade down to pursuers...
I knew that we'd get along just fine and be fast friends. Best friends.
And I will bring up the front, so that if anyone is waiting for us up there, they will get a nasty surprise.
I'm going to call my other best friend.
And who is your other best friend?
You have to ask. I asked her to keep the engines running.
That would be Zisha?
Yes.
Wow.
Ring ring. Hey Zisha. We're accelerating. New plan. We're gonna be on the roof. Can our rides pick us up there?
I'll see what I can do.
Thanks. You're the best.
Wait, I thought we were heading up to the landing pad level.
Well, I have said we're going wherever we're actually going. If the player misunderstood, that is the player's fault.
I think we're one level down from the level with the landing pad on it.
All right, let me go back to here and pick up of the people and copy them. And I am going to now put everybody onto the list. Where are you? Did you all do some? It says you're pasted. I mean, I only pasted one of you. Oh, I see. You're all tiny. Come here, everyone. Come here. Okay, everyone is tiny.
Ooh, tiny.
Okay. Tiny.
Except for us, we're giants.
Oh, you're not going to be giants in a moment. I'll pick you. You're okay. Actually, I'm going to
You can't make me shrink if I run fast enough. No, let me out. Let me out. Curse this gigantic body. It's too large for the doorway.
I will activate this level, and I'm going to move you two over to where you actually are, which is... Well, I'm going to make you have to shrink yourselves, probably. Oh, curse this giant map. The other map was much easier to deal with. Okay. I
am never not amused by how gigantic this map is.
Yeah,
in part because giant maps used to be your bane. They would never load for you. Look how far you've come.
This one loaded for me, I think. I think I managed to make this one load for me, which really surprised me. I guess it's simple. I don't know. In any case, there is a lot of commotion and yelling and screaming because all
we came out in the casino.
A, you came out in the casino, and B, all of the explosions were on this level. And while none of them, I don't think you got into the casino, did you, Rotini?
I'm not much of a gambler.
You didn't bomb the casino itself specifically, but there have been a lot of kabooms going off on this level. The fire alarms have gone off. People are rushing around. Some of them are aiming for the turbo lift that is up to your north, that is like big enough that people can bring large things in it. Like, let me make this thing actually visible just for grins. I put that icon in there.
And it's worth pointing out, because when I did this, it was many sessions ago, which was many in real life months ago. The bombs that I placed were all thimble grenade bombs in strategic locations to damage infrastructure, not to cause mass casualties. So there's a lot of people running around screaming because there's a lot of people who are still able to run around and scream.
Exactly. It is not that you've caused a great deal of damage. It is that the fire alarms have gone off. Things did make some somewhat concerning boom noises here and there in the walls. So some people have heard those. Probably not so much in the casino. It's noisy in here, or it's noisy in here normally. But like the staff are actually ushering people to the exits, and some people are panicking, and some people are asking if it's an attack. Is it an Imperial attack? Are there dreadnoughts? Is it a Republic attack? Why would it be a Republic attack? You get the idea. There's a lot of yelling and screaming and panic and, the usual. And these people get to copy copy those tokens. Actually, no, tokens. It's all those tokens. Tokens, get rid of these because, sorry, that one. I'll just paste in 32 object tokens all on top of each other.
Did the casino have any kind of, because this is Star Wars, armed guard?
They do have bouncers. They do, in fact, have bouncers. The bouncers are currently the ones that you see occupied by directing traffic towards the doors. There are a number of doors. I will give
100 Imperials are about to come out of the staircase.
Let's
Release
see
the
if they
ducklings.
can notice. There are so many ducklings. They are paused at, as they have gotten into a certain amount of formation in the sense of you have like 2 or 3 to a stair, and they are going up in as good a military order as they can manage after days of being captured, drugged, and now they're rescued, but they have soldier skill, and they're actually managing something resembling coherency. I cannot show, it's this vast blank expanse of a map. So, oh yes, that's a lot of ducks. That's so many ducks in that GIF, and they are all going past the cars. Like that. From the ceiling, there are holograms that are now doing proceed to the exits, and they are all pointing to an exit, a nearby exit. Wow, there's a lot. That one's probably going to actually get a vision roll. One of the security guards sees you people come up and starts waving you towards the nearest door. Out to
You know what? I think
landing
this
pad.
is
Up to the landing
funny.
pad.
We will see how long this lasts.
Well, look, we were doing the planned cosplay event when all of this happened, and we just want to get out safely and go to the next venue for the cosplay event. So clearly, these employees are helping us with that, and we thank them for their
The
service.
Imperials look a bit like some of them would like to jump this security guard for weapons as well. I don't know if you want to try to protect the security guard or not.
While it would be fun to have another hour and a half of combat, I think that Rotini is well, in game time, it would be like 3 seconds. But to avoid an hour and a half of combat, Rotini is going to be motioning for them to be going in the direction that the security guards are telling us to go in. The goal is exfiltrate, not conquer.
If there's a Rotini who is basically doing the gesticulation with landing lights again,
Yes.
they are, in fact, going to go with that. Apparently, they are not fighting because security guards are not jumping them. They are giving many dirty looks to the security guard.
Yeah, well, hangovers.
Oh, there's a really tiny door icon.
Oh, it's tiny. Is there a tiny door icon? Oh,
Yes,
whoops.
you have to zoom in real close.
Oh, so there is. I'm going to just delete that. It's too easy to accidentally. That one is too easy to accidentally have a problem with.
There are so many hexes on this map. No one should live here.
There are.
But
I
everyone
would have made a
could.
different map.
Everyone could live here. There is so much space.
There's so many hexes on this map.
We-
Everyone could live here.
This map can hold so many hexagons. Slap the top of the monitor.
You get an intelligence roll for here. Okay.
And I suppose we are now invading the bistro.
Yep. Fortunately, everyone in the bistro is being directed to exits except the droids who were serving food behind that big central counter there. They are not because, well, it's sad. It's not even clear if they have feet yet. Imperials at the bistro!
Also, panic at the bistro.
Yes, there is so much panic going on. It's sort of, they're the ones, there's overturned tables and chairs where people got up really fast and started running away because this is where a lot more of those booms went off. There's a smell of smoke, and as you are getting everyone mostly past, oops, sorry, I didn't grab you as well, Rotini, the guard yells, "Hey, wait, stop right there!"
Which guard?
Who is yelling this?
I will ping the guard. Let's see if I can. The one who is closest to the north door. Rotini can see which one. I will move it back and forth for people. There. Is going, "Hey, wait," and starting to draw a weapon. Because they did make
I
an IQ.
toss one of my flashlights at him.
Throwing roll at a, let's see. Do the -3. I'm sure that's not, I need to look that up, but not now.
Made by one.
Made by one.
And this was one of my mini grenades, since I started with 12 of them. I've got this, with this one going off, I'll be down to 8, I believe.
Okay. And that's got a 4-yard that will barely miss some of the people. 9 points of damage goes boom. Do you have any? Okay, do have some of that damage, so that's not a lot of DR. That's right, that's a lot of damage. Okay. The poor fellow is going to be blown down, basically, because either you knocked him off his feet or he did duck and cover. There's a boom. There is screaming because of the boom.
Well, yes. There should be.
Imagine a casino full of people are now screaming and running away. Huh?
Yes, we should all be getting out of here. I almost got hit by that explosive. It was so close to me. We all need to run.
You're yelling Utini. Yes. Hello,
to anyone who will listen, I am yelling that I was almost hit by that explosive. It was so close to me. None of us should be here. We should all leave. Everything I'm saying is 100% truthful because I'm a very honest Jawa.
Fortunately for you, the sarcasm in "it almost hit me" is, that's true, but also slightly, you timed that. You picked which one to throw.
Close does count in horseshoes and hand grenades.
Yes, it does.
And nuclear warfare, but also...
Thankfully, that's less applicable.
Currently, yes. I didn't actually pick which one I was using because I was already holding it in my hand at the time. I wasn't going to put that one away and grab a different one.
It's fair. Fortunately, you weren't too close to.
And
that would have been awkward.
And considering the mini grenades are a quarter pound, it made sense that would be the flashlights.
Yep.
So, anyway.
The Imperials have seen you do this, and at the very least, the ones there were aware of it, so they are going to run through the door and basically be following their boss. And I'm going to make a roll. There is so much chaos here. There's so many people running and screaming, and the evac, it's time to evac, and mostly, okay, a lot of people are kind of getting shoved around because the Imperials are very much en masse going to follow you out. Go ahead and just pick up your thing and drag it to the end there, because that's going to represent what we're doing.
When someone the size and appearance of Zorak wants to go down a hallway, everyone lets someone the size and appearance of Zorak go down the hallway.
Pretty much.
Especially
rest of us are
because
the wait.
Jorok is not going to stop going down the hallway.
Oops. I got you caught up.
You
in
are
that. Sorry
quite
about
forceful about that. Yes, you're dropping Imperials.
That. They got lost.
No lost ducklings. No duckling left behind.
No.
I mean, sometimes they trip. There's a lot of people who are very unhappy about the knot of, people who are sort of managing to book it in, military Trump. Okay, the landing pad. I don't have the icons for this, and I'm kind of sad about that because it's been hilarious.
An army
There
of
are
taxi
so many
cabs.
people. There are taxi cabs who have dropped people off and moved to the sides because there's an impromptu Imperial dress up dance party over there. Someone has enterprisingly they're walking around with this Sithly cape and have it open to show that they are selling, that you're not sure what they're selling, keychains, fake lightsabers. You're really not sure what's being sold here. Watches. There's some people who are selling food, and you're pretty sure you didn't actually ask for these, but they've been showing up for a while now. There's a hut who is yelling at everybody. There's actually a hut here. It's a smallish hut. You don't think it's Weesey. You've seen Weesey. But there's a hut yelling at people with some guards who are also menacing people, who are yelling back things about, that they can't stop this landing pad party because it's not a landing pad party until they've landed. What does this even mean? The Imperial group sees everybody else and starts looking hopeful. Is this an invasion? No, wait. What? What's going on?
This
They
is our
clump
cover.
together.
Come on.
Yes, my lord, say the nearest ones. There are many.
Jorok has given up on making it make sense and will settle for.
This is our cover. Okay, somehow
no time
they have
to
a bunch of
explain.
people. Yeah. They will just clump up together. Zisha, you were asked to show up. How many traffic laws have you decided to break?
What, was I actually asked to show up, or was that when?
When I called, it was with the intention of making sure the taxi showed up at the right place.
Oh, okay. Presumably Zisha has been on the comm then.
Yes, and keeping the edges warm.
Okay. There are so many taxis that have been hanging out for people to jump into as needed. Probably some of them have been actually doing taxi jobs because other people were leaving and the bombs went off, But there are a number of taxis that are still there kind of nervously. They're like hovering, but they have not run off yet.
It is time for us to go to the taxis, and therefore I am going to head for the taxis.
Okay, I'm going to go theater of the mind on this one. Most of the taxis are like far into the landing pad around the edges because that's where taxis wait. Some of them are down the more southern part. That's where they get fussed about. A number of them are going to, I assume what you're doing is you're basically running up to a taxi with of people and shoving as many people into the taxi as possible and
Pretty
saying
much.
you know where to go.
Yeah.
Or possibly, do you know where to go? Yes, and yeah.
Yeah.
That is very concerning. GIF that you have just done, Crash. Yeah, that's
It's 100%.
That's about
innocent.
right.
It's just a flying taxi, and where it's going, they don't need roads. It's fine.
And they did a loop the loop. The loop the loop concerns
If
me.
you had a flying car when no one else did,
I would waggle it from side to side in of wave. I would not do a loop. My stomach has become too delicate for this. It's kind of appalling. I didn't use much of a height issue in RPGs, but running around in all of really tall places like Nar Shaddaa and Coruscant and whatnot in Switor, has made me kind of twitchy about heights now with my characters. It's like, no, I don't want to fall. It's annoying. There's horrible falling noises, and then I have to repair my gear.
Well, all that aside, we are loading people up in taxis and getting them the heck out of here.
Happily, none of the taxi drivers have forgotten their lines. A few people are going, no, I don't know where to go, but do I follow the other taxi? And you can just say yes, and they go,
Yes.
sure. I'll ask them who's paying.
You do that.
I arranged the payments, did I not?
You did. Some of these are different taxis that are just here.
I forward them the information.
That makes them very happy.
I figure if I arrange it to begin with, I've got the credentials. I could just, tap to pay, right?
You basically go, they ask and you go, Utini, and you wave your hand in. They look at it, go, oh yeah, okay, yeah, sure, no problem. I'll just follow them. And because I rolled quite well, okay, there's security people running around, but the security people are now kind of baffled because you have a ton of other, quote, Imperials, unquote. There are people who are raising their hands and very upset and going, we're just here for the party. We're just here for the party. It's a flash party, you idiot. We're not real Imperials.
Some of them are clearly
And
more
they're-
inebriated than the Imperials we rescued.
Yeah, pretty much. Also, they aren't expecting to have blasters aimed at them by security. You are down to like one or two of people who, are you just going to shove everybody into a taxi and then hop into one yourselves?
I believe that was the plan.
It has pulled off without a hitch at this part anyway, somehow, amazingly.
As we ride off into the sunset in the taxi, I reach up and pull off the mask I was wearing to reveal the exact same void in a hood as was there before, because Jawa.
Mm-hmm. There is a comm that is going beep, beep, beep. Zisha, do you want to take the comm? It's basically going to Zwolrock and Rotini and Zisha.
Sure, okay.
It's CSD4. Sir, do we return or do we wait for the fire drill to be over? The auction has been disrupted.
Yes, return.
Understood, sir. Miss Elatan is very distraught. It happened before the piece that she was interested in, but we will return. The auction is presumably over now.
Okay. If you hurry, you can probably catch the same cab as Rollrock and Rotini.
We shall attempt to do so, sir. There are a great many people here. It is quite a crowd. Someone has caused problems. There are explosions? They say there are explosions, sir. It may be just a rumor.
Well, stay safe.
Of course,
Get
sir.
back here as soon as you can.
Yes, sir. We will hurry.
The halo above Rotini is made of det cord.
I need to acquire my maps. All right. We shall go to the map of the ship, I believe. I am going to activate the ship map. It is loading. As I recall, you told some Imperials to be on the ship. Yes, I copied the tokens because I will just put them here. And which cargo bay were they supposed to be in? Cargo bay number 15.
15.
15. I will put them all in there. Here are your ducklings. Congratulations.
They're not in a row.
No, they've been milling around. It's quite tragic.
Also, look at this group. Would we have our ducklings in a row?
No, probably not.
I keep my ducklings in a blast radius.
I will put these people here. Now I am going to consult my notes. It's here. Where's my notes? Oh, who's going to be more annoying? You're going to be. All right. The taxi arrives at the not Bucephalus. You can
Well, yeah, that's
get
several
out.
stops down.
Zisha, yes. Zisha, you have checked in, have found that there are, in fact, all of officers and the people in Carbonite. They're a little bit concerned because they're still missing a couple of the higher ranking ones, but the cab lands and disgorges Rotini and Zwolrock. I assume you didn't take any ducklings home yourselves.
I don't believe that was the plan.
The plan was for them to escape into the population and get out later, right?
Yep. I assume you were telling them that as you were taking them to
Yes.
mingle with the population, go to ground. Imperial intelligence will get you out later, or something like that. So unless you want to bring any with you, particularly for some reason, you don't have any, right?
Right.
As you,
Hopefully the ducklings are not so attached that they've decided to follow us home.
they all went, yes, my lord, at you, and jumped into taxis with the intent to ditch any insignia that they have in their remains of their imperial uniform, and oh well.
They
will do their best to-
income. They're now Weesee's problem.
Yeah, pretty much. As you get out of the taxi, you are going to get into your ship and presumably fly off into the sunset. And oh, here's Petra and SD. They're also getting out of a taxi. And wait, this guy.
Hey, it's
you remember
that
this guy? It's that guy who was with the ragtag band of adventurers who brought in the frozen bug, who has hopped out behind, and Nedra sort of waves at Zwolrock and Rotini and says, "Look who we found! Look who we found! We have to get the others out. They're still stuck in a hospital." And that's where we're going to end it, because it's been nearly 2 hours. And we did not take a break. Sorry about that. They're in the hospital. We got to get them out. I want to thank you all for playing and putting up with me doing way too many NPCs at once. And thank everyone for listening, and I hope I wasn't too hard. I am always very insecure about mass combat, to be minimizing about it. And does anyone want to plug anything?
I have it on good authority that Eo's mom occasionally writes books.
She does.
Or at least I have.
She doesn't just GM.
Indeed. I write fanfic too. If you my fanfic on archiveofourown.org, it's under Archangel Beth, and mostly it's Star Trek fanfic, but in nominate, but that's all for free. But also you can read the books at elizabethmccoy.com. And speaking of websites.
Well, we put all these podcasts on aaronbsmith.com/cogwheel, and you can follow us on the Fediverse, which is like Twitter, but fewer Nazis. 1 second.
It's socket do a thing.
At is.aaronbsmith.com/@cogwheel. And we have a Patreon, patreon.com/cogwheelgaming.
You can help us keep the lights on, along with Crash, read us off. Oh, you're coughing, sorry.
Yes, I'll be editing this outro. Patreon.com/cogwheelgaming, where you can help us keep the lights on, along with other illustrious patrons, including Ellie, Shen, Walter, Liv Drummond, and patron emeritus Cindy. Until next time, this is Beth reading off what Ellie typed, which is, Nedra, you need to be very grateful that the only thing Zisha can do to you with her mind is think at you. Yeah. Until next time, bye.